just gonna go straight into it, you guys. Hello, Ray. Hopefully this is the finale. Hopefully. Unsure because, there's, there's technically a lot that I still need to finish before I'm actually done with the... One moment. That's not a good sign. That's very much not a good sign. And I don't know if his sign reappears if you send him back. Is he convinced you to do Night Rain? Let's go. Okay. This could be problematic. This could be very problematic. Let's try that again. Please don't do it again, game. Okay. One moment, we're gonna switch this over to just chatting, and I'm going to relaunch the game. That is not good. That is very, very not good. So, when I summon Patches, who's someone you're supposed to be able to summon for this boss fight, for some unknown reason, it's doing a display that typically means that there is corrupted information somewhere. And that is very much not a good thing. Here's hoping just relaunching the game helped. If not, I'll have to Black Crystal you out of here. Okay, we're good. We're good. Don't know what was causing that, but something was. Alright. Half-Light, here we go. What's Twitch doing? Ooh, that was a lot of damage taken very fast. Let's go. Wow, interesting. I wonder why that didn't send. Yes, I do know that Patches is in Elden Ring. I believe Patches has been in every single FromSoft game except for. God, I think they were called Kingsfield. And those were the games that were before, like, Demon Souls and Dark Souls. Patches is very much an eternal entity in these games, which is funny if you ask me. Maik the Liar from Elder Scrolls. Yes. You know, I was going to turn this character into an Henri Straight-Sword run, but I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't think it's worth it at this point. And that's not like a, oh, like, it's a useless weapon. No, it's actually a very, very good weapon. The problem is, my current one just does so much damage by comparison. Like, I don't think it'd be worth it for me to try and make it. Like, even, yeah, one-handing this thing, I'm doing over 500 damage a hit. I'm not exactly doing small levels of damage. We're gonna go up here. We're gonna open this door, get a cutscene, and then I'm gonna go back to Firelink and do some other, I'm gonna take care of my last few bosses. I think I have 4 more. Yeah, that sounds right. 4 more bosses. Action 1, Toucher of Things. Oh. Oh no, it broke. Quick, Ray. Replace it! I mean, I don't have an issue with it. It is exceedingly common. It is very, very common. Oh. You don't look so good, Filianor. You do not look very good at all. Oh, nothing looks very good at all. Holy crap. Princess Kenny from freaking South Park, The Stick of Truth. So I've done Frida, Champion, Gravetender. Okay, so we have you. We have the dude here, because the final boss of the entirety of Dark Souls, the true final boss, the final boss at the end of the final DLC of the final game, is here, where I'm at. The dude, he is actually him. Like, I'm not even saying that as a joke. He is him. Like, the meme and everything. He is. He's him. Dude is wearing one of the worst armor sets in the game, made it to the end of the world. And he is one of the most insane bosses in these games. Right behind this chuckle fuck. God, this dude sucks. And then we have this guy. Yeah, Yeah. Alright. Kind of, dude. Kind of. Okay, first things first. We go to Firelink, see if we can liquidate anything to level up. Hopefully we can, because none of these bosses are going to be fun to fight with. Yeah, that's over a level of souls. Oh, I'm not gonna sell Henri's straight sword. I'm gonna keep that. Oh, right. Okay. So, Ray, do we want to fight the twins, a dragon, or a dude with a dragon? I'm leaving this decision up to you. We're letting that one through because that's amazing. That's glorious. The twins, okay. We're doing the twins first. It's really funny you say that because that is a very common joke in the community for this game. It's it's bad. It is real bad. Yeah, you hit the nail on the head, but you were using a sledgehammer, man. Go back to the grass crest for the extra stamina regeneration. I'll send that down just in case I fudge this. Well, this certainly looks like a boss arena, doesn't it?
Oh dear. Another dogged contender. Welcome, unkindled one, purloiner of cinders. Mind you, the mantle of Lord interests me none. The fire-linking curse, the legacy of lords, let it all fade into nothing. You've done quite enough. Now have your rest.
Ow. Where are you? There you are. Ow. I forgot to let that play. My bad. Okay. Yes. Lorian is the older sibling, and he's the one with the sword. Lothric, the one who's actually supposed to be linking the flame, is very much physically unable in most ways.
Dear brother, mark my word,
Okay. So, real quick. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so real quick. I'm gonna light this bonfire. And I'm gonna sit down at it. But real quick. Let me. Hold on. Let me pull that over. They couldn't handle it. Yeah? So you're gonna hear the audio for the game cut out here in a bit. There it is. Okay. So, since I accidentally skipped that cutscene, as I often do when I'm playing by myself, we're gonna try showing someone else's video of it. I know it's not perfect because now it's somebody else's video, but whatever, you know? So here's hoping this one is good. I'm gonna turn up the quality of the video at least.
Oh dear. Another dogged contender. Welcome, unkindled one, purloiner of cinders. Mind you, the mantle of Lord interests me none. The fire-linking curse, the legacy of lords, let it all fade into nothing. You've done quite enough. Now have your rest.
No. Okay, so this is the person's entire fight. Never mind, I thought it was just gonna be the cutscenes. Where is it? Here, this one. This is the one I skipped. Yes.
Dear
Oop.
brother, I'm on my way. My brother, unyielding sword of Lothric's prince. Rise if you would, for that is our curse.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. That does not surprise me in the slightest. Anyways, that was the cutscene I accidentally skipped. I did not mean to do that. I just did it on accident. Yeah, I wanted you guys to understand, like, all the cutscenes, so I didn't want to skip any of them. And then I did, like a fool. I'm trying to be better about that. I am trying really hard to be better about that. Oh, right. Switch back to the game.
The five lords sit there, 5 rows, all thanks to thee, most worthy of lords. Ashen one, with the lords as thy witness, then I kneel before the bonfire's coiled sword, and let the lords' embers acknowledge thee as their true heir, the true lord, fit to link the fire. Very well, then touch the dark egg and nourish it. Farewell, Ashen One.
game, roll, attack, win. Lore, insert the entire. I mean, yeah, the lore of these games is pretty ridiculous.
Ashen one.
I just need 1,000 more. I just need 1,000 more.
Ashen
I
one.
think. Hold on.
Ashen
There we go.
Farewell, Ashen One. Mayst thou thy peace discover.
Okay. So we're gonna have a couple things that are gonna happen really quick back to back, and then we'll be getting back to boss fights. But for now, it's lore stuff, alright? Oh, I forgot to put on the right chest piece. Yeah, it's fine.
Noble lords of Cinder, the fire fades. And the lords go without thrones. Surrender your fire to the true heir. Let him grant death to the old gods of Lordran, deliverers of the first flame.
And here we are, at the end of everything. Wait a minute, did I light that bonfire? Hold on. One moment. I did not. That is the question, isn't it, Ray? that is the question. What does come after the end? What comes at the end of several centuries, if not millennia, of nothing but perpetuating life beyond its natural limit? It's reduced to ashes. Everything here is breaking down, falling apart, crumbling to dust. Alright, Ray. Do we fight man with a dragon, or do we just fight a dragon? Man with a dragon. I like the cut of your jib. I wonder if I already rang the bell. Guess we'll find out once I touch down. I did already ring the bell. Alright. Before I enter that boss fog, I will be right back. If only, if only. No, I really do think we'll be able to finish this all in this episode. And I do think that this entire stream might be sub 1 hour, if not 1 hour 30 minutes. Alright. I always hate fighting this guy. Because he's a punk. Ow. Ow. Oh god, I forgot about the fire breath. Yeah, they brought him back in Night Rain. And this cutscene actually makes me so sad. And it's because of one single thing. Yes, watch the tip of the spear right before he does it. Oh, I didn't know Izzy has played Souls 3. Let's go. Alright, Nameless King, let's wrestle. Ow! Okay, should not have gone for that other swing. I got grabbed. Yep. Oh, get away. Oh my god, stance break. Let's go. Let's go. Okay. Okay. Nameless King down. No. Interesting little AI thing. If you're outside of a certain range and looking away from him, that attack is guaranteed to miss. If you're within a range, it still can hit you, and if you're locked onto him, it doesn't matter where you are in the arena, it will hit you. Or at least target you. It's super weird AI. It's really funny, though. Because, that only really works on single player. If the more people you have, the less likely it is to succeed, because everyone needs to know that. And if not everyone knows that, at least one person is always going to be targeted. Yeah, it's super weird. But ever since I learned about that, I've just used it every time I fight him, because normally that attack is an absolute nightmare to dodge. At least for me it is. Normally it's a nightmare for me to dodge it. Some of my other friends that play the game, not so much. They're better at it than I am when it comes to rolling and all that. I got very lucky. I ate several hits I normally would have been able to avoid. I think I'm slowly gassing myself out on this game. Because while I've been doing this run, I have started and completed like 3 other runs, and I have started a 4th and 5th run while this character has been going. So I think I'm just slowly gassing myself out on this game again. Which, not exactly a great thing to do, you know? I love the game, man. It's a fun game. I can't help it. Who am I kidding? I can't help it. I'm just ridiculous. Hold on. I do have the Twinkling Dragon torso. I really don't want to deal with that micro fight, though. There's a hidden fight that I could do against a pseudo boss. Actually, there's a couple of them, and I don't want to deal with either of them because they both suck. Okay, so Nameless King is down. That means we have two guys at the end of the world and a dragon. And we're going to be fighting the dragon. I am mildly concerned.
I am of that.
30 vigor. There we go. Maximized health bar. You can go above 30, but you're seeing decreasing rewards between 30 and 50, and then it's not even worth it after 50. But 30, generally a pretty good point to end the game at. Need to offload some more souls. What can I buy to offload some souls? None of this is going to be helpful for me at the moment. $99 on your ER? What do you mean? Oh, I could buy the life ring. Let's go. Why not?
Ashen 1.
99 dex and vigor. Yeah? The difference is in Elden Ring, your stats still scale after a certain point because everything does so much damage and eats so much damage. Like, 25 vigor is workable end game in Souls 3. 25 vigor is where you need to start at in Elden Ring to not immediately explode when something hits you. It's a very, very different scale. Okay, so Nameless King is down. Medir, we're coming for you. And now you're going to see possibly one of the best dragon bosses in any video, like in any FromSoft or just any game ever, in my opinion. This man is a legend. I mean, yeah. Alright, I already opened the path forward when I was in the last session. Oh boy. 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 So, Ray. I can't believe I'm gonna say this. Yeah. Yeah. That'll definitely affect it. So, we're gonna be swapping you out for more physical damage resistance, because this boss does not do lightning. And, we're just gonna give ourselves a bit more health. No reason why. Just think that might be a good idea. If you don't know what the boss that's down here is, Ray, it is pain. The boss down here is pure, unadulterated pain. And we are back up at max health. Which means now we go back to the stamina shield, because holy crap, is this going to get very real very fast. This boss regularly takes me 2 to 3 attempts. I've only ever had one playthrough where I did this on my first go. You ready to see one of the most amazing dragon designs in a game as well? Because this dude is genuinely beautiful. Look at that beautiful boy. Come here, my dear. It's time to wrestle. Ow. Run away. Oh, flying again. Oh, missed. So there is a reason why he's a bit on the lanky side. Ooh. Okay, yeah, we're healing on that one. We haven't gotten the phase transition yet. Is that phase transition time? Nope. Another flight. Oh. Ha 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 ha, phase 2. Ow. Oh, pursuers! Oh, pursuers! Holy crap. I forgot about that move. I very rarely see him do it anymore. Holy crap, that was scary. Is this double charge or is this single charge? I think this is gonna be a double charge. Yep, it's double charge. Oh, okay! Ow. Forgot I can get hit by that. Oh! 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 Prepare for the 11 laser disco rave ray. Holy crap, I love that move. It's so good. Oh, Madeir, thank you for doing that on stream. Holy crap. Holy crap. Holy crap. You don't understand, Ray. My heart is practically pounding out of my chest. Jesus. Oh. Holy crap. Holy shit. Oh. Okay, this is definitely going to be over an hour long because I need to take a moment after that. Holy crap. Madeir, you never fail to disappoint. Jesus. So, as far as we know, Madeir is a dragon who fights under... Okay, do you know the lore of the first game? Do you know the lore of Souls 1, or like the overarching lore of just the Souls games? Actually, you know what? If you don't, I have a video that we can watch for it. Okay. I have a video we can watch once I'm done with this that will explain everything. The audio and video still might be desynced, but whatever. I don't mind doing a watch along of it. It's a good video. Oh boy. Oh boy. God damn, dear. And Madeir is worth a lot. He is worth so many souls. For this fight, and the first of the old men, we are going to keep the life ring on. For very, very good reason. What can I get with 1,000? Is there anything here that I can get for 1,000 souls? Oh, I still don't have the tower. You know what? Screw it. I'm going in with the 1356 souls that I have. I don't care if I lose those. Alright. First old man. First old man at the end of the world. But basically the easiest shorthand version as to why Madeir is so lanky, the type of dragon he is, and he was only really used for executions of those who had been corrupted by the dark, which I know sounds ridiculous, but the dark or the abyss in the Souls games is interesting. So he doesn't exactly eat a whole ton, And am I corrupted? Technically, no. My character is actually uncorrupted. In fact, unless you take a very specific route in the game, you are technically not capable of becoming corrupted and becoming, like, hollowed, which is something that happens in the first and second games. You can only go hollow and if you take a very specific route in 3. So this guy might give me a ton of issue as well, because this is another guy who is very, very rough to fight. Ow! Yep. Can you? Ow. God. Gale, why are you... Why are you? Now Gale is very corrupted. Yes. Ow. Nope. Got hit by lightning there. And if I stay too close to that, I get hit with a lot of damage. Okay. Okay. Gale. You... Oh, Gale. Okay, Gale. Okay, Gale. Okay, Gale. So that was Slave Knight Gale. I'm aware I probably made him look a lot easier than he is. I don't know why this is happening. Why was the guy I struggled with the most the small dude in the church? Why was the boss I had the hardest time with so far today just a dude in a church? So you're gonna want that back. You can go back to being that. And we want that. Actually, do you want... I think we'll want to keep you on, actually. So I can switch you out for the silver ring. How much do I need for my next level? 82. I don't know if I can get enough for that. I do not know if I can get enough for that. Because I need 6,000. Actually... I do 246. That's enough. Hey, hey, hey. No one's asking you to look at them, Ray. No one's asking you or forcing you to look at them. You can look elsewhere. Alright, level 115. Exactly where I was planning to have this character end at. You ready to see who's supposed to be the final boss of the entire game? The final boss of the base game, who I personally think is thematically the... Not even. Like, it's not even that. Well, technically, it's interesting. You need to know the story of the first game to understand what's about to happen here. But, and this is a big one, I'm going to try and keep my mouth shut this entire fight. Because unlike the other ones where I want to talk about it, actually, and I'm going to turn up the music. Because the music for this boss is actually phenomenal. And it's specifically Phase 2 that's the important one. So the Phase 1 music, I'm fine with talking over, I just don't want to. Yeah, like, I keep the music low normally because the music is incredibly distracting to me at times. Oh, no, the in-game music, not music from outside of the game. It's probably not super easy to hear. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, sorry about that. But yeah, here it is, the important part, and now I'm gonna be quiet. So that is the Firekeeper. The original Firekeepers were for Souls 1, but every Souls game has had a Firekeeper of some kind. This one is simply the one in this game is simply known as the Firekeeper, and yes, she is a skin for the Baroness in Night Rain. In reality, the role that she fills in this game is far closer to Melina from Elden Ring.
The first flame quickly fades. Darkness will shortly settle. But one day, tiny flames will dance across the darkness. Like embers linked by Lord's path. Ashen One, hearest thou my voice still?
And that's. Do you guys care about the credits at all? Correct. So, there are. There are several endings to the game. There are several endings to the game. I personally think that the best ending is letting everything go. You are ending the Age of Fire, the age by which everything has been perpetuated. Because at the end of the day, that's all the Age of Fire has been. It's forcing things to exist beyond their means. People are living far longer than they should. The gods reign over everything. Well, the lords. The gods is kind of an unfair way to phrase it. Because they're. It's weird. It's weird. The lore of this game is very strange. But this is what this is the game. This is the main area. This is Lothric Castle. This is where you go at towards the end of the game. This is where you start a good chunk of the game at. And at the end of the game, if you recall, at the very, very end. Hold on. Let me actually go there real quick. That's Lothric Castle now. This is what happened. Here at the Kiln, we are at the absolute end. The very, very final death throes of the Age of Fire. And look what it's wrought. The world is crumbling, falling apart, and being reduced to rubble. And for what? What is the reason why? It's because the lords wanted to keep their power, the gods wanted to keep the world from humanity. I'm going to a couple of places that show the side effect of that. Like this. This is another perfect example, because here's the thing. Okay, maybe not from here. I think it's the other one that you can see it from. There it is. There's Lothric, still standing at the end of time before everything finally truly falls apart, or in the process of falling apart. The ringed city is perpetually locked. It, it's bad, man. Linking the first flame accomplishes nothing good. And it never has. It's only led to things falling apart. And so, personally, I think the best ending in the game is refusing to light the flame. Let the flames die out. If you're corrupted and take it, so there's actually two different ways that can go. When the entire world was dark, you probably heard me walking around, right? Towards the end, before the Firekeeper spoke again and the credits started. You can just take the flame for yourself right then and there. You can just take it all over. You don't necessarily link the flame in that ending, but you completely remove the chance for anything to be done in the future. In which case, the world will just kind of slowly fade away into obscurity. The Age of Darkness allows new growth. The Age of Fire just results in everything crumbling to dust. Taking the flame for yourself, arguably the worst ending in my opinion. Because while the Age of Fire perpetuates the cycle, while the Age of the Deep, completely unrelated ending, requires you to take the flame, but after being corrupted, brings about an entirely different age. Not the Age of Darkness, as I said, the Age of the Deep. I think I heard someone cite that as possibly being how Bloodborne starts. But I don't know if I agree with that, because the Age of the Deep is supposedly the abyss taking over as opposed to just darkness. I don't know. I don't remember the supposed connotations of all of them, but yes, the Age of Darkness allows the light to finally rest, the world to regrow itself free from the influence of the lords, and then when the time is right, the fire can return, light can be shown upon the entire world. That's the key of it. That is the way that it needs to be. Because what was happening is the gods were providing the same stagnation as the age before them, which was the Age of Nothing, the Age of the Dragons. In order, you have the Age of the Dragons, which was taken over by the Age of the Lords, which is the Age of Flame. And then after the Age of the Lords was supposed to be the Age of Humanity, which is the Age of Darkness. And then the cycle is supposed to continue over and over. Eventually the Age of Darkness gives way to the Age of the Light again, because now everything is in flux. Nothing is kept alive beyond its means. And then the Age of Light returns, the Lords, and yeah, it just cycles. It's just supposed to keep turning over. I don't know. It's fascinating. I like the Age of Dark ending. Do not like the Age of Deep. My favorite ending from Elden Ring. Oof. I really like the Age of Stars ending. I really like the Age of Stars ending. Yes, that is Ronnie's ending. Well, I'm just gonna punch that real quick. Let me offload some more souls, and then I'm gonna call this. I'm gonna call the run done, and then I don't know. I can throw up a lore video or something if that's of interest. The frenzied flame ending is fun, but you have to pull some really dumb shenanigans. You have to commit to some tomfoolery to get that ending. $14.54. Yeah, that happens. Okay, so let's switch from chatting. Let's switch over to the chatting screen. Edit stream info. Alright. Where is the video? Story about my VTuber? They started as an OC from an alternate universe fanfiction I was writing for an anime I'm a huge fan of, and then slowly I integrated them into games, Dark Souls 3 being one of them. That is a part of my lore that I am still trying to write. It has been 5 years and I haven't touched the most recent chapter. So that's taking me some time. I need to finish writing that eventually. The problem is trying to get this game transcribed into words, which is not easy. It is not easy at all. Which anime? Ruby. I'm not even gonna try and hide it. It's Ruby. Hmm. Oh, I enjoyed it too. However, I'm not like some of the people I've met who refuse to acknowledge the bad things about it. I know that there are problems with the anime. I find them hilarious. I find them really funny. Hmm. I don't remember which one is the good one to help explain the lore without being super long. You know what? I'm going to have to actually watch through all of these to feel that one out. I don't know what that is, but that does not sound half bad. Hmm. You know what? Screw it. Screw it, screw it, screw it. I'm gonna boot back up Souls 3, and we're gonna see what my damage looks like against the first boss of the game, but on New Game Plus. That's how we'll end this one off. Cutesy isekai anime of this girl who lives her life as an adventurer who wears an OP bear onesie. You know what? I'd watch it. I don't care. We're gonna turn that way down because you are super loud, game. Where is audio? There you are. Alright. Yeah, I'd be down. Alright. So we're back in the game. And we are going to fight. I completely removed my weapons. That was foolish of me. We are going to fight the first boss and see what our damage looks like against him. If you knew how many times I've watched some of the animes and shows that I like Ray, you would not feel awkward about that. Or even be like, it's totally not. Like, dude, I get it. If it's something that you watch it as much as you want. Like, if it's something that you truly enjoy, just go for it. No judgment here. Alright. We started run number 2. And it's just so that we can fight the first dude all over again. This cutscene looks so different. Nah, not at all, man. are beelining straight for the boss. Actually, you know what? Let's do a little bit of extra credit. Yeah, Gundyr is rough. Gundyr is a very rough fight. Ow. Oh right, there's a ring here. What ring are you? Speckled Stoneplate 1. Ballin'. That's actually really good to know. Really good to know. We're just gonna... Yeah. We're just gonna chuck that on. And then you are going back to being the Chloranthy. We don't care about souls at the moment. All we care about is being able to win fights. I'm gonna try and do this without taking a single hit. That is the end goal. That is my preferred goal for this. Likelihood, probably not horrible. I have fought this man many a time. Yeah, he's a rough fight. He's a rough fight if you don't know what you're doing. The one thing I will always... Actually, you know what? Here, one moment. I should have enough slots? I should have enough slots that I think I can technically make one new character. Okay, yes. I can make a new character. So, one thing I always recommend, if you are struggling so hard with that boss that you absolutely want an easy way to deal with him, right? For starters, Knight is just a good character to start off with. So, I'll start with a Knight. I'm not taking the Black Fire, but actually, you know what? Just for showing this off, I'll take the Black Fire Bomb. Screw it. Name doesn't really matter, appearance doesn't matter. I just want to show you real quick things that I would recommend doing. So, if you ever play the game again, right? If you pick the game back up, first things first, Black Fire Bombs really gonna be helpful dealing damage to him. However, you lose out on something that makes a later area of the game easier. So, you know, weigh that one yourself. Oh, you probably will. Elden Ring probably has helped you, would probably help you adapt to this game beautifully. I'm gonna be honest. Bonfire. Ow. Rude. Anyways, do I want to rest? Yeah, I'll rest so that I have full health. I've got the important thing, which is the firebomb. So, the firebombs are really nice. Black firebombs are also really nice. You can get a similar effect if you start as a pyromancer, but that has its own list of quirks attached to it. Okay, so, real quick, firebombs scale off of your strength and dex, scaling harder off of your strength than they do off of your dex. Black firebombs are the same way. So, this would be really good for a warrior because warrior has higher starting strength. And this boss does have a weakness to fire. So pyromancer would be even better because you have fire damage natively. Ow. I mistimed the dodge there. Ow. So the stuff that comes out of him, right? The stuff that comes out of him is called pus of man. It's literally a concentration of just all the dark gunk and gook that comes from humanity. Which sounds weird, but it's another lore thing. I know there's one more video that covers that, but it also kind of focuses on one of the main bosses from the DLC of Souls 1, as well as DLC 3 of Souls. Not DLC 3, DLC 2 of this game. I mean, I could try putting that up if you want. Like, I'm not above it. But yeah. The black fire bombs are a good starting gift just for that boss. The normal fire bombs are a good item that you can pick up that does good damage against this dude. And if you're a pyromancer, you just get to have fireballs. And one of the first items you pick up is the Ashen Estus Flask, which allows you to regen your mana, which is very good, because Fireball, while it doesn't cost a whole lot, does still drain mana. And if you're going that route, you're going to be chucking a lot of fireballs at that dude. Okay, let's switch to chatting. Yeah, I'll chuck it up. Why not? I'll throw it on. And then while that's playing, I'm gonna take care of some bio business. So
In Gwyn's Age of Fire.
good lord. Okay, so let's turn the volume of this down to about here. I think that'll be fine. I'll at least gonna see how it is for you guys before I do anything. Let me also, one moment. Let me just tuck my model right here. There we go, that works. So I take up less real estate on screen. Actually, you know what? And wait, no, I can't move over. Dang it. Oh well. Alright. Tell me if the audio is good, alright? Like, if it needs to be higher, I can turn it up. If it needs to be lower, I can turn it down.
In Gwyn's Age of Fire, there were 4 knights who distinguished themselves above all others. First, there was Hawkeye Goth, who fought in the First War against the dragons. He exulted in the thrill of the hunt, plucking dragons out of the sky with his enormous greatbow.
That good?
Soon, the only dragons left were in his memories, which he revisited endlessly. Fighting on the ground was Ornstein, the dragon slayer. He wielded a long, lightning cross spear that could be stamped deep into a stone
Alright,
dragon's
I'll be
hide.
right back.
Its curious design went on to remind many of an exiled god of war, though none of them dared to speak his name. And then there was Kiran, whose talents differed considerably from the previous 2. A stealthy assassin, she would have been no match for dragons, and so she must have killed for Gwyn in the Age of Fire to follow. She dazzled her foes with streaks of gold in the night, and then stung with the vicious poison of her silver tracer. But in the Age of Man to come, none were as well equipped as the great knight Artorias. For nothing, not dragons, nor disunity, nor even his enemies frightened Gwyn like the dark. The dark soul of man filled the Lord of Light with fear, for one day, Gwyn knew, the fire would fade, and humanity would inherit the world. His world. So while he still had time and power, Gwyn began to rig the world in his favor. Mankind had stood amongst those who set out to slay the ancient dragons, and, as if in thanks, Gwyn bestowed upon pygmies and men the Ringed City, an enormous, gilded city located at World's End. The walls were as tall as mountains, and above them soared Medea, an immortal archdragon that was raised by the gods. Below slumbered Gwyn's youngest daughter, the Princess Philionor, a woman of enormous faith and power who Gwyn gave up to protect the pygmies until the very end of the world. And at first glance, you might think these acts benevolent, you might think they were kind, but in the end, it was just a trick of the light. The walls were not for protection. The dragon had an eternal duty to battle the dark, and Gwyn's daughter, Philionor, would never see her father again. The purpose of the Ringed City was not to protect the holders of the original Dark Soul, it was to imprison them, like a ring of fire that encircles the darkness of humanity. And man was, in fact, branded with this very seal, the Dark Sign. And despite clear evidence of their heroism in the war against the dragons, their dark knights never were lauded for their service. So it's no wonder, then, that in all of the spellcraft and the hexes that stem from humanity, one thing remains constant. It craves a free will of its own, and it writhes against its shackles. Perhaps the first example of this was the Mad King. He was pygmy royalty, and he rebelled against the light. We have no idea what crimes he committed, but they must have been terrible, for he was put to death by Shira, a knight of Philionor. Only the Mad King would not die, and Shira, with the Mad King impossibly entwined around her spear, had no choice but to hold him quietly in a dark room until the end of time. There were, of course, other human cities outside of the Ringed City. One such example was the Dark City of New Londo, which was governed by 4 human kings and protected by Knights of the Dark Blade. The kings were renowned for their foresight, and they even had fragments of Gwyn's very own soul bestowed upon them, so that they could better govern their people. Of course, this too was another trick of the light, for what lies at the top of New Londo but Filing Shrine, a place of undead sacrifice to Gwyn's Age of Fire. So no human city was permitted to flourish without a clear benefit to the Age of Fire, and there was no better example of this than another human city called Ulasil, which was the golden land of light sorceries. Light, it turns out, can be manipulated to foster illusions. It can hide your intentions, it can even mess with the fabric of time. And spells of this nature would be of great value to the gods in the coming years, so Ulasil flourished, an exemplary city for Gwyn's pantheon, because it was proof that humanity could be taught to serve their interests. And so it was that a group of missionaries from Ulasil embarked upon the Ringed City, perhaps to preach and reinforce the power of the light in this dark city. One of these missionaries was called Half-Light, and he was a talented individual who was wielding the powerful artifacts of his homeland. He would go on to earn the favor of Philionor, and he would even earn the legendary dragon weapon of Medea. So it was no surprise that Half-Light elected to stay behind, becoming the last recorded spear of the church. And just as Half-Light visited the Ringed City and even stayed behind, the reverse was also true of a certain pygmy from the Ringed City. This pygmy's name was Manus, and while we know nothing about the nature of his visit to Ulasil, we do know one thing: he died there, and the body of primeval man, of Manus, was put to rest far, far beneath the city itself, out of the light and out of mind. We don't know much about Manus, and a lot is left to the imagination. What we do know is that he was a pygmy far from home. He was a part of a race that Gwyn was doing everything in his power to suppress, and when you think on Manus's fate, it's kind of hard to imagine that Gwyn didn't have a hand in it, especially since Gwyn had an order of assassins, the Lord's Blades, in his employ. The leader of the Lord's Blades was Kiran, the Hornet. It stated that she laid waste to Gwyn's enemies, and of course, there's no proof that the Lord's blades actually killed Manus, but you could also argue that that's rather the point of assassins, isn't it? Whatever the case, the tide was turning. Mankind was struggling against the world order, and even New Londo, which was once a haven for undead, had turned into a hideous spawning ground for the Abyss and its dark wraiths. At the heart of this uprising was a serpent named Karth, who swayed the four kings and taught its undead knights how to pillage back their humanity. Some descriptions even say the dark wraiths became the most human of all, but to others,
the dark wraiths are the enemies of man and any living thing that has a soul.
So as the age of man crept ever closer, yet another Knight of Gwyn appeared, perfectly equipped to face it, the great Knight Artorius. With a greatsword weighted to strike harder against servants of the dark, a great wolf who defined their fighting style, and a covenant with the beasts of the Abyss, Knight Artorius and Sif defiantly faced the worst of mankind. Yet, in the end, the terror that was the Dark Wraiths could only be stifled with the sacrifice of their entire city. Such was the power of their four kings and the resilience of their abyss. Luckily for Gwyn, such a safety measure had been put in place years ago, and so the sealers of New Londo watched stoically as water rushed into the city and thousands of innocents died by their hand.
The entire city was sacrificed to contain them, for that is how great a threat they were.
But while Gwyn did manage to put the New Londo threat on hold, no one was prepared for the outbreak in Ulasil. I imagine when they figured out that a primeval human was buried beneath their very city, the temptation must have been too great to resist.
Believe it or not, Ulasil has brought the Abyss upon itself, fooled by that toothy serpent. They upturned the grave of primeval man and incited his ornery wrath. What could they have been thinking?
Like the mad pygmy king before him, Manus rejected death, and he was as far from peace as could be. The raw emotion of humanity that we mentioned earlier billowed outwards, corrupting the townsfolk of Ulasil, and Manus became the father of an unstoppable dark abyss. Curiously though, it's almost as if he was searching for something, using his power to reach across time and space until he found it. Instead, he found Dusk, Princess of Ulasil.
I still think on that creature from the abyss that preyed upon me. My faculties were far from lucid, but I quite clearly sensed certain emotions. A wrenching nostalgia, a lost joy, an object of obsession, and a sincere hope to reclaim it. Could these thoughts belong to the beast from the abyss? But if that were true, then perhaps it is no beast after all.
The object of his obsession was a pendant, and with it in our possession, we're pulled back to a time where all appears lost.
Well, look at this one. From what faraway age hast thou come? Thy scent is very human indeed, but not intolerable. I am Elizabeth, guardian of this sanctuary. Thou shalt see further on, an abyss was begat of the ancient beast, and threatens to swallow the whole of Ulasil.
The city is lost, the abyss is spreading, and mankind has succumbed to the worst parts of their nature. When Gwyn heard of Manus and his abyss, Artorius must have been the first one sent to deal with the threat. He was, after all, the best equipped, but fighting dark wraiths is considerably different to the power of primeval man. So Artorius was bested and was forced to retreat. Beset by the abyss, the final act of Artorius was to protect his companion. He shielded Sif with the divine power of his great shield. After all, his arm was broken, and he could no longer bear the burden. Then, Artorius himself was overcome.
All of you, forgive me, for I have availed you nothing.
Knight Artorius came to stop this, but such a hero has nary a murmur of dark. Without doubt, he will be swallowed by the abyss, overcome by its utter blackness. Indeed, the abyss may be unstoppable.
All was lost, and yet strangely, soon after the spread of the abyss was actually halted, and Princess Dusk of Ulasil miraculously wandered out of the abyss. Artorius' name henceforth passed into legend, the knight who gave his life to disperse the abyss to rescue the Princess of Ulasil. This is a lie, of course. In reality, it is we who rescued the princess, and we fulfilled the legacy of Artorius.
This may strike thine ear as somewhat peculiar, but long ago, in my homeland of Ulasil, I was beset by a creature from the abyss. I would have perished then, were it not for the great knight Artorius. In truth, I saw little of what transpired, for mine senses were already fled, but even still, there was something about Artorius, a certain balance of the humours that quite perfectly fits your semblance. Heavens, could it be that?
With this, Manus's suffering has ended. But Manus wasn't the only corruption of the abyss that we killed in Ulasil. There was also Artorius. The legend of Artorius is a lie. He did not vanquish the father of the abyss. He did not eliminate the dark wraiths of New Londo. The abyss is unstoppable, and yet, eons later, the legend of Artorius would inspire a legion of abyss watchers who continue to rage against the dying of the light. Yes, the abyss is unstoppable, but they fight nonetheless. Even in this state, notice that Artorius continues to seek out and kill corruptions of humanity. He's still in there somewhere, but his legend can only live on with his death. Only his fellow knights knew the truth, but they would take his soul and his secret to the grave. And while Artorius' soul was corrupted by the worst of humanity, it was the best of humanity that redeemed it. And the hero of Ulasil would disappear without a trace, almost as if he didn't belong. For in reality, he didn't. And eons later, deep within an enchanted wood, behind 2 locked doors and a troop of forest protectors, an ancient cat speaks the truth.
The legend of Artorius art none but a fabrication, traversing the dark. 'Tis but a fairy tale.
Alvina is keen to downplay the legend of Artorius because heroes and bandits have begun seeking out his grave. They would desecrate his legacy for the secret of abyss walking, and they may do harm to Sif, who, in fact, Alvina helped you rescue back when the world was still young. Imagine what Sif is feeling when you cross paths again years later. You're duty-bound to seek the abyss, and Sif is duty-bound to stop you. One of you will have to die, because Sif cannot give you the covenant of Artorius willingly. Maybe, in death, he can find his friend Artorius again. Before I go, I just want to say a couple more things.
So, I know that it did not answer every question, but this guy does a lot of content for really all the Souls games. His channel is right here. I can try grabbing a link for it and putting it in chat. Actually, you know what, why not? I'll try doing that. yeah, he does this a lot. Okay, I cannot appear to do that there. Can I do that here? There we go. So that's the link if you want to check him out. I think he does some great work. I love these games. He does a lot of work in, you know, consolidating the lore, turning it into some easy to read and understand stuff. And like he's done it for like Elden Ring. He's done it for Night Rain, of course. You can see that video right here. He's just done a lot of them. But yeah. So, I think that is a good place to call the stream. I don't know what I'm going to be streaming next, but I'm really happy I could share this with you guys. Because I just love these games. Well, okay. I love this one specifically. I love Souls 3. Souls 1 has given me several issues. Souls 2... We don't talk about Souls 2. We don't talk about Souls 2 anymore. That's a lie. Souls 2 is actually pretty great. But we don't talk about Souls 2. We don't talk about Souls 2. And then Elden Ring, I love it up until Malekith. Just Malekith. I do not like him. Anyways, yeah. One of my friends is doing a birthday stream, so... DS2 is Lizzie's favorite? Really? That's actually kind of unexpected. To each their own, right? My, the guy who got me into the Souls games, he loves Souls 2. Loves Souls 2. Because they did a lot of interesting things with it. Oh, yeah, that's fair. I can see that. Anyways, I'm gonna send you guys off to my friend Lily. Ray, I'm sure you remember her. Because it is her birthday. And this is the best thing that I can think of that I could do for a gift. So, let's get the raid started. So, thank you all so much for joining me today. I hope that the next stream I do is hopefully not weird or odd. So, we will see what happens. Anyways, this is awesome having you guys here, and I will see you all next time. Goodbye.